Do you remember when you broke your virginity?
I'm still a virgin.
Dumela Kazi, welcome back to the cafe. Libito la ka ke K. If you're new here, welcome, and if you're a returning subby, thank you so much for gracing us with your presence. It is allowed to have an opinion about everything and about everybody, but where do we draw the line? I am talking about a video that caused a bit of a stay online. It is between MacG and our sister Cyan boujee. So if you'd like to hear more about this whole thing, I think you've seen the whole trend or the whole story and stuff like that. But if you'd like to hear my own opinion in the whole thing, please do stick around. Let's get into this video. So before we get into this whole thing, deep diving into it, I want you to watch this video a bit. I'm just gonna cut it short because obviously I think you saw this video running around the streets and stuff like that, but then it's not going to be complete if I'm not playing this video before we talk about the whole thing. So let's go to this video.
Thing for me to actually see other schools and see if like the kids love me and all that, and that's exactly what I did. And the motivation that I had for the kids was pushing them to make sure that they finish with school and like stay strong with all the trials and tribulations that are gonna come. And yeah, that was just about it.
So Cyan, are you telling me when you go at night, when you go to sleep at night, you really think there's kids that look up to you?
When I what?
When you go to sleep at night, do you really think there's people that look up to you?
When I go to where?
To sleep at night, before you sleep, you're like, yo, there's people that are looking up to me.
100% with no doubt. And nobody's ever going to make me feel otherwise because I feel the love. I see the love. I got to witness it. Maybe you guys were trying to make a joke about me going to the schools, whatever, but actually I witnessed it myself. I got to see how kids love me. If you can see a child crying over seeing Cyan boujee, that means that, you know what, they actually look up to me. They see the greatness that I have, the strength that I have.
So as you can see, Cyan boujee being Cyan boujee and being naive and all of those things, she's talking, she's very open over the phone. We saw that Cyan boujee visited one of the schools, motivating children, and people like me and other people online were divided and they were going all sorts of crazy because obviously we know Cyan boujee online and we know what she's doing online, and on top of it she's got a video which is a porn video that was released not so long ago, and the next thing we see this lady doing the motivational speaking or in some of the school or whatever school that was, and we also learned that she was asked by her grandmom, who's a teacher, because one of the pupil or one of the school kid wrote an essay, and she happened to be that child's inspiration and all of those things. And obviously she was asked to go and do the motivational speaking at the school, and she did just that. Obviously the grandmom wouldn't ask her if she didn't see something in her and all of those things. And also on top of it, guys, we might know Cyan boujee as the Cyan boujee online. We don't know how Cyan boujee is in her private space within her family and all of those things. Our families might see the good in us and stuff like that sometimes because we are good or we are not good. We just have our sides whereby we are good in our private space, and on top of it, we don't know how Cyan boujee is at home. We just know her as this person who is doing all sorts of things, and we're calling her prostitutes because that's what she actually giving us online and all of those things, right? And obviously we have our own opinions and all of those things, but where do we draw the line to say, all right, right now I am way over the boundaries, like I'm jumping the boundaries as Cyan boujee, disrespecting her, ridiculing her and all of those things? Where do we draw the line? And I can tell you right now, as you can see, on this video, she got ridiculed. She showed we saw the side of being stupid, or must I put it that way, because that's how MacG wanted it to go. And I mean, after you calling her a prostitute and stuff like that, and you've got a nerve to call her and ridicule her more. On top of it, there's this lady who's a ghost lady giggling in the background and all of those things and having the time of her life and stuff like that. And then there's Sol Penduka, who's also not doing anything about this whole thing. They don't see anything wrong. Obviously, we have our opinion about Cyan boujee, and whatever that comes to her, if we have to ridicule her, we have to ridicule her. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Yes, we can have an opinion about someone. We can have an opinion about someone, but do we have to go to the extent of ridiculing them when we've got so much followership? You know, the podcast and chill is over 1 million, so that means it is racking a lot of views, and there's a lot of people that are talking about it, and it threads on Twitter and all of those things. And how does Cyan boujee feel right now? Obviously, she came back and she spoke about the whole thing. And I was like, you know what is this, the thing that Cyan boujee is saying right now? I hate to agree with her, because that's what I'm doing. We gave MacG his flowers and all of those things. He's doing really well for himself, and he's changing the game. The podcast is doing really well, and the podcast sisters and the podcast that he has, the little podcast that he has within this entertainment business that he has, they are doing really well, and he's doing really well for himself. He's doing really, really well. There is no need for to ridicule people or to push people to the edge in order for you to wreck those views. He already has those views. He already has that success within the podcasting career and all of those things. So I don't see the necessity for him to ridicule someone online like that just because that person is Cyan boujee. And also, I am not really surprised. What do you expect from someone who is almost pushing 40 years old and asking children this question?
Do you remember when you broke your virginity?
I'm still a virgin.
Fuck idea. I didn't know my name.
I'm telling you. No, I just speak it a lot, but I don't know.
If I smash you, it would be my bio.
Why? Why would you do that?
Whether Kamu Mpela is a musician or she is an entertainer and she's wearing all this short stuff and all of those things, but an old guy, an old famous guy asking a child this question, and you think there is no problem right there, we are problematic. If we think that part also it's not problematic, so we are all problematic. I'm not surprised. When I saw this interview at some point, I was like, you know what, I think we are problematic as a nation, because this that you saw right now, it's giving perv. It's giving perv. I'm not gonna say it in the whole thing, but it's giving perv, and you know what I'm talking about, and you know what I'm saying. Why are you surprised? Not so long ago, Tyler, the singer, Water, the hit maker, the award-winning Tyler, MacG was on Tyler's business like no one's business. He did not see a necessity to say congratulations. So over here, I feel like a pot is calling, or a kettle is calling a pot, whatever that is. That saying that is not grabbing in my head right now. That saying, the pot is calling a kettle black or dark. Whatever that is, guys, whatever that is, that's what is happening right now. I mean, Cyan boujee is Cyan boujee, and then MacG, the cheater, the perv, because obviously if you're gonna ask a child who is barely mid-20s, Kamompela is like 22, 23 or 21 or something like that, she's so young, and then you ask a child about their virginity, and you go on and on in that whole video, and you don't see a problem. There's a certain mindset that other people or that we have as South African that baffles me sometimes. Yes, the person is great in what he does, and he can have people that are looking up to him and all of those things, but it doesn't mean that everybody is looking up to everything that he's doing. It's the same as Cyan Boujee. Yes, we might disagree with her going to the schools and all of those things, but it doesn't hide the fact that there are children over there who are really looking up to Cyan Boujee, not necessarily because she's a porn star or necessarily she's a what you call a hooker, but because there are certain attributes maybe that she possessed, and these children can see those attributes and they like those attributes, like resilience. Cyan Boujee is resilient. Cyan Boujee is a strong woman because she had all these things coming up and all of those things, the sex tape video, a lot of things, but she's still here. She's still doing all sorts of things, right? There's a lot of things that came up about Cyan Boujee. We come here, we bash her, and we all do sorts of things. We say all things crazy about her, but at the end of the day, she comes back and then she will go for a gig and do all those things. So those attributes, maybe there's a child who actually looks deep down within Cyan Boujee as a person, not within Cyan Boujee as this public persona who's going all crazy, doing all the BBLs and whatever, sleeping around and all of those things. Maybe they don't really like those ways, but they like the other attributes about her. Right? It's the same as MacG. We love the fact that he is raking all the views, and the podcast is doing really well and all of those things. But it doesn't mean that we agree with him asking children such questions, and on top of it, he's also a cheater who has been cheating for all these years, including the wife that he has right now, wife or fiancé or whatever she is, cheating, and now Ngwele is ridiculing another Ngwele online, and then we just sit here. We're going to talk about it. I'm not surprised that MacG did that. I'm not surprised. Instead of him congratulating Tyler, he's decided to bash Tyler's singing. And one of the things that Cyan Boujee said when she came back, or she clapped back, or clapped back on MacG, she said that MacG is don't quote me on this one, like MacG doesn't like to see the young stars flourishing in what they are doing. Obviously, one of the things that she said that she's like a 21-year-old coming into the scene, and the next thing she's getting paid more than what MacG is getting, right? And I would agree with her because the things that he says about influencers most of the times, they are just baffling me. Most of the times he doesn't have that nerve. He doesn't have that part of him to say congratulations on someone. He always have something negative to say about someone. But anyway, that's him, and I would just say that I'm not surprised. And on top of it, obviously this guy is problematic. We have to talk about it. I know some people will bash me about this one, but he is problematic. we over and over, he proves me right over and over. If you can go back and check a lot of his videos, I'm not talking about that whole transgender saga and all of those things. That has nothing to do with me. I didn't even cover that story. I was not even on YouTube like that doing all these sorts of trending topics and all of those things. But there are certain things, there's a lot of things that this guy is saying, and he just gets a pass because obviously he has a lot of men following him who share the same sentiment as him. We all know that men stand together all the time. They stand together all the time. If it is a fuck up and they're talking about all the nonsense about women, they stand together. And he will always continue having all these views and subscribers and all of those things because he shares a lot of sentiments with a lot of men who are also doing the same nonsense that is doing, asking children about their virginity, ridiculing people and all of those things. As I said when I began this video, we can have our own opinions about other people, but where do we draw the line? I think there should be a way to think. If you've got something in your brain that is left in your brain cells, we should have boundaries. We should have limits about people. We can have opinions about them, but there must be limits. And also, Cyan boujee does deserve to have those limits. We have to limit what we do to her, especially if we have a huge following and the next thing we decide to call Cyan boujee to just ridicule her. Just when she minds her own business and doing all these sorts of prostitution and all of those things, we decide to just call, and after calling, just ridicule her, laugh and have some fun, while she's also naive on the other side and talking. Like, man. Anyway, thank you so much for watching till this far. Please do me a favor, subscribe if you're not. I'll see you on my next upload. And also like this video if you enjoyed it. On top of it, please do comment down below. What do you think? Do you think MacG was right? Or do you think MacG is just another man? Peace out.